Hey guys, it's Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. This is the global edition, but enough about me. I want to talk about our guest. And today we're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about video editing. We're going to talk about YouTube. Julian has had 120K watches on his videos and 1.8 million minutes watched. Can you believe it? He's going to tell us all about how he did that. He uses Zoom like I do. And he has this great show called Balls in Your Face Marketing. It's just such a great show.
I've got big balls. I've got big balls. They're such big balls, and they're fancy big balls.
You know, upload your logo and do some of your own branding with those. So it just creates that little sort of buffer at the beginning and the end. And again, music and stuff like that I use is already sort of there in my templates. So I'm just uploading my video file, and I've got my intros and outros, and I'm changing the title of the show, and it's pretty much ready to go for the full episode.
Yep.
And then typically what I do when I do my edited down version, because my interviews are usually anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, is that then I take the rendered video and I'll just sort of chop through and kind of find the moments that I think are the best, loading it onto YouTube, and from there, as you and I have talked about, my process is very automated in terms of it getting onto my site, converting automatically into an iTunes podcast. I don't do it. There's no clicks to that. There's no clicks for me or process for me to put it onto my website. And it gets tweeted actually automatically as well. Google's algorithm is giving, Google owns YouTube, by the way, right? And it's giving very strong deferential treatment to live events on YouTube. Now, a lot of people, when I say live events, they assume, oh, okay, that means that you are recording your show live directly onto YouTube, but that's not actually the case. It's not like Facebook Live, where you are genuinely live. With it on YouTube, a live just means like a live broadcast. It is streaming from your computer to your channel. That allows you to jump the queue a bit. Because as I said, right? Because basically, again, it's sort of like, you know, for a certain search phrase, Google's algorithm is saying, oh, well, there's a brand new show that's live, a live event here for you to go and watch. And then the trick that I find for holding that rank, because you can, what I originally found was that, okay, you'd show up kind of on that page and then you quickly lose your spot again. And so what I've used is the descriptions in YouTube, right? YouTube just allows for an enormous amount of space in the description tab. Very few people click on that show more button under a YouTube video. You see the top 3 lines.
You love sharing it for the people that want to know it themselves. So it's a win-win. You can't help everyone in the world that needs to know this. You can help the people that want to come to you to pay you to do it, and there's plenty of them. But there's also plenty of other people that say, you know what, I wouldn't mind having a go. Wouldn't mind having a go at this myself. And there's plenty of room for all of us. And I really love that you called it the economy of authenticity. I haven't heard that phrase before, but I know exactly what you mean. Because in a world where there's plenty to go around, there's a lovely feeling that comes with sharing what you know for the people that can't afford you.
What you're talking about really is a mindset of abundance, and I really do believe that there's just tons of opportunity. I certainly don't feel any sense of competition with other people in my industry. I feel a sense of camaraderie with them. Yeah. There's just so much going on that no individual marketer can be the master of all.
Yeah. And they couldn't service all the clients that need you. That's the
thing. And the other big thing, you know, when we talk about predictions of by 2020. Here's a big one for me, and I've spoken a lot about this, is that in addition to the sort of economy of authenticity, we're also moving towards a gig economy. The numbers, the predictions that I've seen of freelance members of the workforce, on the low end I've seen is something in the range of 36% as a prediction. On the high end is 50% of the workforce, of the global workforce, will be freelance. The small micro business, I feel, has a competitive edge over large corporations for several reasons. One, exactly that we can be much more authentic. When you're small, and then your personality can shine. It's very difficult for a large corporation to have a personality in the same way. Two, we can be much more agile and nimble, and adjust. Where I envisioned my agency being, or the things that I envisioned what we were doing a year ago, have shifted, and are constantly shifting as I'm constantly learning new skills. So whereas a large corporation, it's sort of like a big ship, and it takes a lot of time for them to sort of list. And then thirdly, when you're small and in this, a freelancer or a small business, you get to be passionate about what it is that you do. My service is my service, or my product is my product. And I've used this example many times. I think that a younger generation in particular is much more apt to drink a microbrewery craft beer, for example, than they are a corporate brand beer. And part of the reason is that they'll probably look at that corporation and recognize immediately, one, that their real mission is to raise the value of its stock. It's not about making beer, it's about its stock value. Whereas for the small microbrewery craft beer, they may have watched a video of the brewmaster himself saying, this is why I do it, this is why I love what I do, and I'm really passionate about making this beer. So for all of these reasons, I think the little guy has an advantage, and I really feel that the power is coming back to the people and the individuals. And I think the challenge for large corporations is retention.
There's a common phrase called find your tribe, which most people have heard, but you go deeper. You say find your village. What do you mean? Tell me what you mean. There's such an interesting idea.
Right. Well, I mean, part of that stems from the fact that, again, as I said, that tribe has a bit of a negative connotation to it. But as you and I have discussed, if we're moving towards a gig economy, and if we're moving towards this economy where individuals are helping each other, scratching each other's back, just like in the days when you would have one person who was a blacksmith and somebody else would make candles and somebody else would make shoes, etc., and you traded and bartered services in many cases. We are now moving back towards that model on a global scale. And so for me, as I said, I think it's more of a find your village, or a village economy, a global village economy, and a gig economy that we're moving towards.
Because we can all do different things. And I live in Australia and I have a skill set. You live in Toronto and you have a skill set. And the global economy, the global gig economy, allows me to say, you can do part of this because I don't want to do it. I'll do this part, and everyone's happy. We're operating on our highest value. We're doing the things that we're good at. We're outsourcing the things we don't want to do, which means we're much more efficient, and everyone gets paid. This is just brilliant. I think that LinkedIn really has taken things up a whole lot. Do you find that the shorter videos go well, or do you sometimes go the full 10 minutes?
The shorter videos definitely often do better, but I break this rule all the time. And part of it is that speaking back to this find your village, right? I'm looking for an audience that will go beyond the headline, beyond my title, right? Like somebody, there's a whole bunch of people who are going to scan by and they're just going to see the name and they're going to say either that's crass or that's silly and not have a sense of humor about it and not really dig in, and that's okay with me.
Yep.
That's the thing. Again, when we speak about this sort of world of abundance, I don't have to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's right, exactly. And with other the same thing with Facebook in a way. Facebook actually you can really target. You can use their psychometric data to target your audience and what are some of their common interests. But for sure, on LinkedIn, it's a matter of curating a more thoughtful, more engaged audience, people who are willing to invest 10 minutes of their time. But without a doubt, people, if they see that the video minutes, they look at it and they say, oh, it's just 10 minutes, I'm not going to invest the time. And that's fine by me. Then, move along.